Spring truly is here, because when cycling I am now up to 17, 18 kilometers an hour, and even I still have my winter tires on, but my speed is picking up, and yeah, it's a marvelous feeling when you can trust corners again. I know that some people trust them, whether it's, what do you call it, whether it's snowy or not, they just go through them. But for some reason, at the back of my head, I've always got the thought that I'm the sole provider of this family. I cannot crash. It will be economic catastrophe. So I've been blessed. I've taken a couple of tumbles, but what do you call it? Nothing tremendously serious. For example, oh no, this might show my upper lip here. I'll try and see if I can find the image of me. Now that was rollerblading, so that wasn't cycling. But basically I was going along, there's a lake called Pitkäjärvi, just about 2 kilometers from here. I was going up a hill. It had rained like crazy, and there was a crossroad coming. It was a gravel road, and the water had been so strong that it had pushed all the gravel onto the asphalt, and I came with my rollerblades into it, and I must have taken like 5 or 6 steps in order to regain my balance, but there was nothing I could do. And then the end result was my head was like a whip onto the pavement. Very painful, and I can't remember. But anyway, my lip, well, I'll try and dig out the picture, but it was a big bulb on my upper lip, and then I had something with my hands, I think. And well, asfaltti-ihottuma. I don't know what that term is. Road rash, I think it's called in English. But it's asfaltti-ihottuma in Finnish. All around my body. That is actually when I got, because I went to the doctor and they looked at it, and they looked at my teeth, and they said that after a crash like that, they might fall out, regardless of whether they fall out now. They can be a year later that they come out, but luckily none of them fell out, so they're still there. How did I get into that? Well, basically after that I got insured like crazy, which I've now moved to my company, so that the company takes the insurance. We have a guy in our company who does paragliding. I don't know what it's, this parachute type of a wing that you have, and then you just fly if you have updrafts, and then you circle around that so that you get height, and then you fly. But anyway, this hobby can be done in mountains. So if it's terrain is flat, you can't do it because there's no updraft. So you need to go to mountains to do it. And then let's say if you take yourself to the Alps or somewhere where there's very good updrafts and stuff like that, or Spain or something like that, if you crash bad, the cost of a medical flight back to Helsinki, it's absolutely horrendous. Why I'm saying this is that our company has insurance, so that if this guy who paraglides, happens to smash himself into a mountain somewhere remote, the insurance should pick up or cover him being picked up from the mountain, taken to the nearest airport, get the medical treatment that is required on site, plus flown back to Finland on this medical flight. Then this is no cheap thing. But anyway, this is how our insurances are now. So no need for personal insurance at the moment. I should do D2, or sorry, it's Documentum Fundamentals exam. That is the only exam that I did not participate in creating while I was at EMC. So I did WDK, I did System Administration, I did DFC Programming, I did... what else did I do? I think I have... But I did not do the Fundamentals exam. And the Fundamentals exam, it's what are the basic principles in Documentum? And the last time I took the test, I went there and I said that I'll switch professions if I don't pass this without studying at all into this exam. That's what I did. I walked in and did the test, passed. Idiots have decided that it's a good idea to actually include... We have a crazy number of clients in our portfolio. Or not a crazy number, but there's a variety of them. And now they've decided to include a brand new client called D2 into this exam. And D2 has been rejected by just about every single Finnish customer. They don't want to have anything to do with the product. But the only problem is that this... in the Swedish project that I was in, there was bits of D2, and yeah, it does have nice features to it. I'm not saying that, but the thing is, if you're looking at fundamentals of a product, which there's a vast plethora of, you do not take a client and say that, hey, let's add this to the test requirements, which is completely idiotic. And then, when we were there doing the test, we had a couple of criterias. For example, in the programming one, I think this is a good one. What a lot of people kept on bringing forth, they had questions like, what is the correct parameter order on IDF session create method? Well, no, sorry, create only has one parameter. Or add relation, or some obscure method name. What is the correct parameter order on this one? And the majority, luckily at the time, we were like, no, you can't have that. That doesn't test your ability to actually do this. Nowadays, our program interfaces take care of that. You don't need to remember that. That's a stupid, silly question. Kick it out. But now I heard from colleagues that have actually gone to these tests that they have moronic questions like, what is the third button on the screen, or the tab on the fourth tab or something? Just, it has nothing to do with what you're doing as your job. Do you want idiots there getting your exams that know where a button is placed on your user interface? Or do you want somebody who actually knows how to do their job? Ask questions about that. How do you do that? But yeah, I remember when I was doing these tests, I was all excited, and I was kind of hoping that I could get into this a bit more, and even because I think at EMC there's 3 levels. There's associate, specialist, and then there's we never got to do the 3rd one, but we were planning with Ram Arthi, who was leading this test creation. And we were planning how could we do this, create scenarios, and then the people, but nah, we never got to do that. But the point being that I feel, or what I've been told, I haven't had to take a test in ages, but my feeling is that the quality of the exams has gone down. Laskee kuin lehmän häntä is a Finnish saying, that something just takes a nosedive. But yeah, I'll be sure to mention about it when I actually go and take the test. Oh yeah, I went drone flying, and I got the church that we got married in. It was cloudy. The building is so high that so it was so cloudy that when I was flying at there's 2 spires or steeples, and when I was at that level, I was in a cloud, and the shot is foggy, but you can get the idea what I was getting or what I was looking at. And then I went to our old congregation, Andres Kyrkan. I flew just in front of their building because it's in a big city block. It's just one piece of their front. So I flew in front of that, but that was just about the most difficult flying that I have done because the wind was constantly shifting the thing about. Nearly crashed into some walls and going back and forth, but I noticed the people there all excited and look up there, what is that? Especially kids. I think that adults, they kind of have a halfway understanding what's going on. And then, finally we're now meeting at a place called Vapaakirkko. It wasn't a nice place to fly because there were wires going across the street with street lamps hanging on them. So I had to be fairly careful. So now I've registered to do fundamentals exam. I had to pay for it $200, and the email that I got is when your payment has been processed, you will receive an email with your voucher number and expiration date. So let's see how that goes. I can't remember, did I mention this? But I installed a program called Screen Time. And what it does, it limits the amount of time that the kids can spend on their mobiles. So now they have 2 hours altogether during the day, which is massive amount of time on the device. But there's been all sorts of drama about it. It's too little. I'm gonna run away from home because you're so horrible to me. It doesn't work like that. I'm being a responsible parent by saying that I call it the hit by the stupidity stick. When you just sit around and flicker or fiddle with your screen for any prolonged time, and kills your imagination and does all sorts of detrimental things to you. So the kids can only be on their phones for 2 hours a day. And now I learned, this is I think the second day that we're using this software, that Sophia has discovered that if you do tasks, you get extra time on the mobile phone. And now she says that she's completed a task, tidy your room. The only problem is that she's not home and she hasn't tidied her room, and she's claiming to get extra time on the mobile phone. We'll see. I'm going to have a word with her to see whether this is true or not. But anyway, study for the EMC exam. The only thing that I'm going to study is the D2 bit, as I mentioned. The fundamentals I have handled, but the morons have put a client-specific thing in there, so I need to have a look at that. So, Jesus is King. Amen.